If all were there when we first. Oh yeah. If all were we. If all were there when we first. If all were there when we first. If all were there when we first.
And then, you know, it's like,
Hopefully with the welcome. Yep. I like when you get punchy and do active. Yeah, crazy active. It's super
It's
fun.
the only way we're going to survive.
Only way we're gonna survive.
Is if you get a little punchy.
Okay. And yeah, closing affirmation. Hope you'll play on that.
Sure.
Cool. Thanks. We're a band.
We're a band. I love being in the band. Especially with you guys.
I hope maybe we can have a band for Tawana's service, which I think is August 18th. You around?
I need to schedule some vacation. I have no vacation for the rest of my life. But for now, yes, August 18th.
So we'll reprise I Wish I Knew How at the end.
I might play with sticks on the reprise just to be super
Oh
loud.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go crazy.
How's that? Oh, that's good. Good morning. My name is Betsy Brainerd, and I serve on the Board of Trustees here at First Unitarian. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whether you carry joy or sorrow in your heart, you are welcome here. All people of goodwill are warmly invited to join us on the great journey of the mind, the heart, and the spirit. If this is your first time with us today, please let the offering basket pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. We hope you will join us for coffee and conversation in the community room after the service. We would love to get to know you and answer any questions you might have. You can also visit the information table next to the exit from the community room. If you are looking for ways to engage with our community and support the work of our congregation, please visit the opportunities table at the back of the community room after the service. There are a variety of activities that would welcome more helping hands. We would love to match you with an opportunity that interests you. I have a short pulpit announcement from Colleen Bryan. 18 of us from First Unitarian went on a civil rights tour of the South last spring, and we're looking for ways to bring some of the experience and insights home to our congregation. Helen Berkman curated a late summer movie viewing for 3 Friday nights in August. You'll find flyers in the community room and in the order of service. We hope you'll join us for the films, but most importantly for the discussion afterwards. We think that lessons learned from that earlier struggle might be pertinent and help us be more effective in our own current day fight for civil rights and freedom. Now, please remember to silence your cell phone and other electronic devices. Hello to our friends online today, and welcome everyone to worship. At this time, please take a moment to greet the people sitting around you.
Good morning. Whoever you are and wherever you are in life, you are welcome here. Please join us in singing our welcoming song. We are many, we are one, the light of the world is within you. Sacred and worthy is your soul, a place has been made for you.
First Unitarian. I have to tell you that it is always a pleasure and a bit of an honor to welcome my friend who disappeared. I'm sure he will reappear momentarily. But Theo Wilson, I've known Theo for, I don't know, nearly 20 years, I think. It's an honor to call him a friend, and it's always an honor to welcome him back to our pulpit. He's been here many times before. If you don't know Theo, you should, because Theo is a poet and an author and an activist, husband, father, just goes on, a public intellectual, TED Talk speaker. Anyway, I'm always glad to have him back here, and when he shows up again, please give him a warm welcome. And he gave us a title for today, Unplugging from the Matrix, and I actually have absolutely no idea what he's going to say. But I wanted, the other pieces of the service today to be thematic, so I chose this for a call to worship. This was written by Sapphire Rose. She let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around in her head. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book about how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was what it was. And it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. And a smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her. And the sun and the moon shone forevermore.
Mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and east. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Oh, wasted on the ocean and upon our seas, fish filled with mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Ah, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Radiation underground and the sky. Animals and birds who live nearby are dying. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Oh, things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more abuse from man can she stand? Mercy, mercy me.
I have a story. for all ages. Some of you will be quite familiar with this story. Siddhartha Gautama came to be known as the Buddha, was born around 2,600 years ago in India. He was a child of a very wealthy, kingly family and grew up surrounded by every luxury imaginable in that time and place. He was being groomed to follow in his father's footsteps. But Siddhartha, as he grew, felt something was missing. Something inside him wasn't satisfied. So he snuck outside the castle as a young man. And legend is that he saw a sick person, an old person, and a dead person. And this awareness of suffering changed his life forever. He left his wealth and his family and took up the life of an ascetic, renouncing all earthly things in a search for an end to suffering. He investigated ideas and spiritual practices, atheism, materialism, and more. Eventually, he studied long with Arada Kalama, who taught him the mental discipline of nothingness. But he decided that was not the answer. He studied long with Udraka Ramaputra, where he trained his body to be impervious to hunger, heat, cold, or pain. But then decided this too was not the answer. Giving up on teachers and teachings and scriptures and disciplines, he sat down underneath the Bodhi tree and he let go of needing any of those things. He let go of needing something to rely on. He let go of needing some place to go. He contemplated all he had seen and learned, and it is said that on the 6th day, his eye opened on the morning star, and it is said he realized that what he had been looking for had never been lost, neither to him or to anyone else. Therefore, there was nothing to attain, and therefore no struggle to attain it. Wonder of wonders, he is reported to have said. Enlightenment is the very nature of things, and yet people are unhappy for the lack of it. And so it was Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the one who is awake.
Good morning, everyone. So we're going to sing a new song that's a bit of a classic within the history of Unitarianism in the United States. Number 44 in your hymnal, and a bit about this tune. It was originally in William Walker's Southern Harmony Singing Companion that was published in 1835, and the tune was a folk tune known as Complainer. However, a Unitarian minister and American beloved poet Ralph Waldo Emerson rewrote the words to this song and dubbed it as We Sing of Golden Mornings. Leia's going to play it through all the way once since we haven't done it before. And I encourage all of us, we're going to take a little time and learn the song and sing it together.
Sing Good morning. I'm Lorna Moore, a relatively new member of the church, although I've been a lifelong UU. We previously attended the First Universalist Church down in Hamden, and then one in North Carolina when we were there for a time. But I found my late husband and I joined this church about a year and a half ago, and it's been home since. It's really a welcoming group, and I would urge those of you who've not yet been here often to feel free to come again, because I think you'll find it equally welcoming. But like every home, it needs help. And whether it's a new piano, or the boiler that blows, or the outdoor landscaping that needs a little weeding, and its wonderful staff, we all know that homes need people to attend to them. So I urge you to be generous in the passing of the plate, and certainly welcome to this wonderful place.
Thank you. Your gifts freely given are gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity and your support of this congregation and its larger ministry. Thank you. need to call attention to a few things this morning. And first of all, yesterday morning, Coral Causeway and Mary Hilkin and Cindy Robertson and Laura Mueller and Randall Loeb and Charlotte Broad-Kern and Jan Dever came in and spent about 3.5 hours cleaning out all the religious education spaces, the classrooms, the closets. Decades of supplies. Bless your hearts. Thank you so much. Along those lines, I am just really excited and pleased to let you know we have hired a new director of family ministry. Her name is Leslie Harvey. We're very excited. She will start on August 5th, and I will look forward to introducing her to you in a more formal way, but I wanted to let you know that has happened. I want to let you know Rundle Brown had open heart surgery this past week. He's home. He got home Friday. He's having a hard time getting comfortable. He's having quite a bit of, chest pain, but he's doing all right. And as of this morning, we have a plan to go walk around the block on Wednesday morning. So please send your thoughts and prayers and cards and maybe even a phone call or two to Rundle. And lastly, this morning, as I often do, I've said it many times, I'll say it many more times, I want to pray that those making decisions about war and peace in Sudan and in Syria, in Ethiopia, in Lebanon, Israel, and in Gaza, may they be guided by wisdom and compassion, such that they and everyone will come to see and understand that guns and bombs and dead children and ruined landscapes and starving families, those don't lead anywhere worth going to. Amen? Cease fire. My prayer today is simple. It's actually one sentence. A single, believe it or not, it's true. And hopefully setting up wherever Theo's going to go. And by the way, Theo, we introduced and welcomed you while you were out of the sanctuary a little bit ago. But the prayer today is single sentence, and it is this: once you turn it off, the number of channels to choose from is infinite. Amen? All right. We have, at this moment, we have a time for community and celebration, a time for all of us to open our arms and our hearts and honor the sacred bonds of human commitment. We're going to welcome into community today some folks who wish to be in covenant with us, who have found in this faith and in this congregation a place they will make their spiritual home. So when I call your name, please come up here and join me. And yes, please. Lorraine Gill, are you here? Yes, thank you. Wonderful. Chris Stotler, Marcia Bates, Bill McQuinn, Wendy Macklin. Yeah, come on up here. Scott Taylor. Is there anyone else here that I don't know about that wishes to join our congregation? Fabulous. So at this time, this is our membership book. I'm going to set it up here, and at this time I'm going to invite these wonderful folks to step forward and sign our membership book right here in front of everybody and God. And if they choose to just say a few words about why they're choosing to do that. Please.
28. Being the first, you have to. Oh, welcome. This is actually my second time for signing this. Back in the sometime in the mid to late 90s, we were looking for a spiritual home and found this is our spiritual home. And we really enjoyed being part of this church and active in it. And we're looking forward to being active again and participating. We left in 2005, and for the last dozen years we've been members at All Faiths Unitarian down in Fort Myers, Florida, which was a very welcoming, beloved community. And part of my spiritual growth is I learned the value of this, having a beloved community to support you. And we've had it here, and we had it down in Florida, and we're looking forward to it again. Thank you.
Please say your name.
My name? Oh, I'm sorry, Chris Stotler. Sorry.
My name is Marcia Bates, and Chris's wife. And again, I was very active in the church when we were here for 10 years. I've been a Unitarian Universalist for about 40 years, and I'm seeking a community, to be in community with people who have similar values, like our 8 principles that we live by. And we don't all agree, we're UUs, we aren't going to agree, but we come from the same basic values. Thank you.
My name is Lorraine Gill, and I'm a second-timer also. I think I left here about 8 years ago, went to Alaska and then up to Summit County, and belonged to the fellowship up there, which I really enjoyed. But I am glad to be back in Denver, and I love the energy in this church. I like the social action and the involvement in community, and I'm very glad to be back.
Hi, I'm Wendy Macklin. I was a member in at a Unitarian church back east for a long time. Moved here a while back and had just got busy. And then this spring it was like I need to connect with a community. And took one of Mike's classes, met some really interesting people, and got more involved with the church. And I'm very excited to be a member now.
Hi, I'm Bill McQuinn. I've been a Unitarian Universalist more than 30 years, but rarely was I engaged in Sunday services. And I have found Sunday services here to just be amazing. I've shared with Mike and others that I find Mike to be not only informed, as many ministers are, but actually an authentic human being. It's so amazing. And I think Leah and her group just bring so much joy and creativity in the music. I totally appreciate it. So I look forward to getting more involved in the congregation.
I'm Scott Taylor. I grew up Methodist until we had a little rift with the church, and then I became fairly anti-church until a friend invited me to come, and from the first moment I walked in, this place felt like home, and it's felt that way ever since. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Richard Hogeboom. It's a real pleasure. The 3 services I've been at inspire me. Unitarianism has been a big part of my family's life for 80 years. My father, my sister. Recently we celebrated the celebration of life for my 32-year-old nephew who died of Huntington's disease out in Stanislaus County, Modesto, California. And I was a caregiver for a couple of years with him until just recently moving back to Denver. This too is my first time really consistently coming to service, but everything resonates. I'm an improviser. I teach improvisation, I perform, and I use it in leadership and in healing. And I've offered also to support the church in any way we can incorporate improvisation. I call my philosophy of living improvizen, improvisational Zen living. And everything of Unitarianism seems to fit. So I am really glad to be a part of the church. Thank you.
Good people. You got a job to do. A joyful job. Welcome, encourage, befriend, get to know these people, invite them fully into our community in the way that only you can do. We are a new congregation today with these new faces, these stories, these lives, these families. Will you accept these persons into our membership, fully aware that just as life is constantly changing, the nature of our community is constantly evolving, and if you will, I need a resounding, we will. We will. Awesome. Good deal. We extend the right hand of welcome and a flower as a symbol of the bond which already exists between us and the hope of it growing stronger every day. Would you help me, Peggy? All right. We have a little responsive reading, and as always, I just invite you to notice which parts are yours. To our newest members, we're honored that you have chosen to be in covenant with this community and this faith. We welcome your hopes, your pain, your love, your wholeness. From this moment on, we journey together in a covenant of love, trust, and mutuality. Joining hands and voices for justice and peace, we inspire lives of joy and spiritual integrity, growing an inclusive community of courage and caring.
In a church by the faith, he talks about people going under. Man decides after 70 years that what he goes there for is to unlock the door, while those around him criticize and sleep. And through a fracture of a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we trip. We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. Crazy people walking through my head. One of them's got a gun to shoot the other one. And yet together they were friends at school. Get it, get it, get it, get it, yo. If all were there when we first took the pill, then maybe, 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 yeah. Miracles will happen as we speak. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, no, never survive unless we get a little bit. In a sky full of people, don't need someone to fly. Isn't that crazy? In a world full of people, only someone to fly. Isn't that crazy? Oh, crazy. In a heaven full of people, only someone to cry. Ain't that crazy? In a world full of people, only someone to fly. Isn't that crazy? Crazy, crazy, crazy. We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, no, never survive unless we get a little bit.
Hey. I think y'all been sitting down long enough. You want to stand up and stretch a little bit, get into your body, just a little bit. Just one of them, you know what I'm saying? You feel like some of that action right now, you know. Absolutely. Thank y'all for being here and listening to me yammer. Appreciate to see y'all faces. Always appreciate the invite from Reverend Mike. Give Reverend Mike a round of applause, man. Give me the opportunity to share and think creatively and kind of, he always invites me to share, like, what's my spiritual process? What is my journey? What am I seeing? What am I unpacking? And I was like, I need to unplug. I need to unplug. Unplugging. Reminds me of the first time I'm sitting in the theater, right? I'm 17 years old. This new awesome movie comes out with Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne and Carrie-Ann Moss, and it's really awesome. Okay? I'm 17 years old, and this dude in really cool glasses asks, "What is real? How do you define real?" And I'm like, dude, I had never been asked that. And I was like one of those people who thought I was the only one who got the hidden messages in the Matrix. I thought it was only me, right? And so it's a cold day, and I leave the theater totally like willing my body temperature up because my mind is more powerful than my body, right? And I did it. I actually did it. I willed my body temperature up and got a cold the next week. But it was my first time really understanding that this was something more than just the five senses here. You know what I mean? And I have, as a young person, am I still young? I don't know. But like, I've gone on a spiritual journey, ultimately trying to find the core of who I am. And I realized that there's this initiation, there's this hero's journey, there's this way in which folks throughout time have tried to figure out what is most essential about them, in contrast to the craziness of the world. And around a decade later, 2009, I found myself as a slam poet with this group called Slam Nuba. And I wondered who knows the thing. Of course, Reverend Mike would know. He's the one who invited us here. And my poetry became this way in which I was expressing my spiritual understanding. And around that time, I had gotten into like The Secret, you know, the law of attraction and stuff, and kind of embodying the divine. So I'm walking to poetry practice for Slam Nuba through Auraria campus, and I was like, do a mental exercise, right? Imagine like I'm God, and I shrank myself down, and I'm like approving of all my creations. And I'm like, that squirrel is awesome. These people are great. I'm really enjoying this sky that I handcrafted, right? And really got into like the embodiment of, wow, like I am a part of this. This is an expression of who I am. And then the next morning, I woke up in a state of ego death, where I was not my story, I was not my ethnicity, I was not my accomplishments, I just was. And I remember thinking that I'd really like to hold on to this. Like, because it's like as a baby, we come into the world and all these layers get added onto us. But those layers were off. And this lasted for a good hour and a half. I took a walk through my apartment complex. I completely know that I was glowing, partially levitating. And as I began to come back to the normal embodiment of who I am, I realized that what nobody tells you about these layers is that they're all made of Velcro. They're sticky. And these layers of Velcro attach to things in the world. And these things pull us. They shift us and they shape us. And the only way that we can detach from those sticky things is to go back to the light, the pure awareness of who we are, right? And there were several traumatic events in my life beyond that point that kind of got me out of that awareness. And I've always sought to hold on to that, but the most recent time it really dawned on me was last month when my wife and I went whale watching. We went out to San Diego and we saw a blue whale in person with our eyeballs. Now, we're going out there on the water, and this boat is like basically a soda can with a propeller. And out there on the water, you bounce over these waves and bounce. And then when we finally saw the whale and we saw the spout and all that stuff and our minds were blown, there was silence. When they turned off the boat and we were just on the ocean drifting and going up and down on what the Greeks called the wine dark sea, where each wave was like a mini hill. And I began to realize something. See, the blue whale lives on the planet. I live in a world, and those are not the same. The world and the planet are not the same. You see, the world is what is on top of the planet. We put it there, and the planet is the raw, organic source of life. The world is our connections, the objects that people make. Like, you really want to see the world, go to New York City. That's the world, okay? It's hard to see an object made by God in New York City. Everything is made by humans. And it's a clutter, and if you know New York City, you know what I'm talking about, right? But more than anything, the world is the narrative. The narrative that we have about our surroundings, about the people in this world, about the events of the world, and that narrative streams down like the code in the Matrix. It is nonstop. It is very difficult to interrupt. The Matrix is the narrative that we have of these events, right? Now, I happened across a book by a guy you may have heard of named Carlos Castaneda. And in that book, the Toltecs were discussing breaking, what do they call, the interpretation of the world. The Nagual's the teacher, he's like Mr. Miyagi, okay? He's the guy who's mastered it, right? And there are the people who are under the tutelage of the Nagual, and they break the interpretation of the world. They break the script running in our heads. And to do that, the Nagual, the teacher, would resort to some pretty extreme methods sometime. The first one encountered by Carlos, according to the story, was a little thing called mescalito. Mescaline. It was a hallucinogenic, for those of you who are not aware, even though I know a lot of y'all were around in the 60s, you know what I'm talking about. Mescaline broke the interpretation of the world. Now, some Naguals would go to extreme measures like hiring teenage boys to beat you up. Not badly, just enough to shock you. Traumatic events also break our interpretation of the world. They cause us to ask questions and force us to ask why, and only in that gap can the universe actually come through. I need a gap right now, because this political season is crazy. I don't know if you've noticed. But there's the fan, and then there's the stuff that's about to hit it. I think it's kind of there, right? And one of the things that's interesting to me is I thought that the things in the political field, this wild season, the things that are on the horizon, were the most dangerous things in my life. I was wrong. It's my own reactivity to them that was lending them power over my life, over my mind, changed my mood. I treat my family different. My reactivity, my interpretation of the world was the most important thing. Reactivity can lead to another R, radicalization. Certain demagogues who will not be named Adult Joffrey Baratheon knows that there are things that can be harnessed when our rage and our reactivity is directed by the words of a demagogue. Capturing our reactions via narrative directs anger towards certain political ends. They know that. And I promise you, the people who showed up at like certain places never thought that they'd be at other places on the 6th of January. They never believed that that would be them. But when reactivity meets radicalization, nobody is safe from that. And there's only one thing that can be done: unplug. I saw a meme the other day on this magical invention called Instagram. And what it said, it was just a picture. It was a line of matches. They had all been burned. And in the middle of this line of matches, there was one slightly lower than the others. And the other matches were unburned. That match stepped back. That match broke the chain. I remember after a certain event where a certain demagogue person type of individual may have encountered a fast object moving through their ear. And I remember between the time that the thing went through his ear and us finding out who did it, I was like, this gonna mean everything, right? Because how folks will react can be nuclear. And we are on the verge of societal, should I say, I don't even want to say the words. But all of us are atoms in that have a choice. We can be the thing in the chain reaction that breaks it for the next person. And it's not just about breaking that chain reaction and saving society, y'all. It's about opening up to what we actually are: creators. And it's easy to forget in times like these that tapping back into source is the way in which we set ourselves down a new Dr. Strange timeline of events. We all have that power. I found that power through poetry. You see, it was interesting because if the Matrix is the narrative, mastering metaphor was my way out. To create a different way in which I symbolize and interpret the world to myself meant that I started to feel a little bit like Neo at certain times. And plus our names rhyme, which is really cool. I really tapped into the creativity of reinterpreting the world for myself through poems. And realizing that this was my arrow back to pointing to my own divinity, but not only my own, to everybody else's. We are all making this up. This is in our heads for the most part. And when we share space and when we share energy, we connect to whatever is most prevalent to us. And it's up to me as a human being, and it's up to us as people to connect to that power. We are humanity. And I have a poem that I wrote about that. Can I share with you guys? I love sharing my poems. This is I Am Humanity. And it goes like this. You know, poems will back up. I fell to earth on a birthday I can't remember. Since the doctor smacked me, I have held a grudge weighing as much as this world that I never consented to suffer in. I believe my first cry was the spiritual pledge to sue that doctor. Every cry after that, the wailing of an infant Atlas, bearing the planetary mass of his parents' plans or lack thereof. Say mama, say dada, Say well behaved, say trophy case, say first place, say I got an A, say my boy is gonna be somebody that this world would never let me become. Welcome to Earth, kid. Like you, this species has some growing up to do. But believe me, we are trying not to be the impending disaster of giving big brain primates rocket launchers and releasing them to target practice in Eden, of turning the tables on our predators and putting their extinction on our menu. Going from appetizer to apex on the food chain has addicted us to the thrill of the kill, and our four-legged prey barely scratch the itch anymore. Spear-throwing spiritual Homo sapien built a temple from the sides of his own cranium, afraid that if he bows his head to pray, this is what he may become. And our future lies somewhere in the gray, in the tension between our nukes and namaste. But who'd have guessed we could wrap the world around our opposable thumbs with the power to make either a meal or a metaphor from the heart of a lion, shape-shifting ape, becoming both locust and honeybee in the garden of Gaia. It is now time for us to choose our final form. The whales are waiting to sing our praises or sound the alarm of the one who taught both oak and steel to swim, who strung his bow with the hide of the biblical serpent, became a god and named the smallest particles Adam. Our potential is as explosive as our story. Double helix plot twisting from Eve to Oppenheimer, this winding road in each cell, encoding our common journey. If we could just hold each other with the same grip as our grudges. Our eyes are reflective surfaces for a reason. Look hard enough and there we are, a shared suffering gleaming. We all fell to earth on birthdays we can't remember, held other people's dreams until they crushed our wings into conformity and learned that the only way to fly was at each other's expense. But what good is a trip to the moon if we only got there by piling bodies? Maybe the most giant step for humankind are the small steps of kind humans, built on the lessons learned from Auschwitz to the antebellum South. As a species, we are learning that prejudice is pricey, that what we thought were hierarchies were just trash heaps of human potential. Like maybe racism isn't just evil, it's outdated social technology. And we upgrade by facing our history eyes open, because a culture only needs a cast when their society is broken. But I have a dream deeply rooted in the vision of this world terraformed into a spinning space garden, a thriving greenhouse from a repurposed penitentiary, resurrecting honeybees and hope when they almost went extinct because we stampeded to oblivion and lassoed it back from the brink. And generations from now, when our grandkids go galactic and the ETs ask us who we are, tell them, I am the being from the African savannah. I stared down the saber-tooth and de-extinct the mammoth. I play the symphony in my genome like a ballad to the stars I stole my dust from. Two-legged singularity, all heavenly bodies add up to just one. Say victory, say invincible spirit, from here to planet Z, from riding stallions to starships to infinity and back, because I am humanity. Thank you.
I invite everybody to go ahead and keep standing. Grab a hymn book. We're going to sing number 352. Oh my goodness, Theo. Words cannot express what you gave us today.
Find the stillness, hold the stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me.
the singing of our closing affirmation. Hide all our differences and beneath our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one and binds us forever together throughout all time, life and death, and the space between the stars. Throughout all time, life and death, and the space between the stars.
Can we give it up one more time for Mr. Theo Wilson? Friend, you have blessed this community today. Thank you. Friends, be noble, for you are made, for you come from the stars. Be humble, for you are made of the earth. And be kind, for you belong to each other. Amen. Our service is ended. Go in peace.
I learned so much. I did. Ticka, 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 ticka,